Hi boys and girls, it's Mr. Yates, and in this video I'm going to be checking the answers to the spiral math for Friday, May 8th. We're going to go ahead and we had some video problems earlier, so I already wrote everything down. I'm just going to go over them with you. For number one, the order of bringing the numbers from least to great, or greatest to least, make sure you put everything in, lining those decimals up. Greatest is 18 and 83 hundredths, then it's 18 and 32 hundredths, followed up by least, which is 18 and 18 hundredths. To add the fractions next, 3/8 and 1/4, you're going to end up with 5/8. You do that by taking and turning 1/4 into 2/8 and then adding the numerators up to get 5/8. Let's go and take a look at number 3. On number 3, you find the value of the underlying digit. The value of the underlying digit is 0 and 2/10. You could have also written that out in word form too. For number 4, you're going to find the unknown number in the equation 1/4 divided by f, which is our unknown number, equals 1/8. And just change that out. The answer actually is 1/4 divided by 2 equals 1/8. I got, or f equals 2. I did that by drawing a unit bar. I drew 1/4 right here. I divided it in half in order to get 1/8. And that meant I'd have to get 1/4 divided by 2 in order to get the fraction 1/8. On number 5, boys and girls, there's a word problem about Helen who bought a rug, and the rug was 1 2/3 yards wide and 2 1/4 yards long. So what is the area of the living room rug in square yards? I drew a model right here, 2 1/4 yards long times 1 2/3 yards wide. To get area, what I needed to do is multiply the length times the width. My length was 2 1/4 yards, and my width was 1 2/3 yards. I converted those into improper fractions. I got 9/4 multiplied by 5/3. When I multiplied across, I got 45 over 12. When I divided, I went ahead and took 45 and subtracted or multiplied 12 times 3, got 36, got 9 as a remainder. That gave me first 3 9/12, but I realized that 3 9/12 could be simplified down to 3/4. Then I was able to figure out that my area of my rug was 3 3/4 yards squared. And make sure you have that little exponent to show that this is square yards for area. On number 6, boys and girls, we have 42 is a composite number. Let me just show you what to do here. You also, the reason it's a composite number is because it asks you to list the factors of 42. When I listed all the factors out of 42, I realized that there's more than just 1 in 42 as a factor. So that led me to believe that 42 is a composite number. Now I'm going to go on down to number 7. Number 7 is a long one. I'm going to go over it really quickly. Leslie practices piano for 5 hours each week, and Anne practices the violin for 7 hours each week. Find the total number of hours that each person practices a musical instrument in 1, 2, 3, and 4 total weeks. Generate ordered pairs. Then graph the ordered pairs on a coordinate plane like the ones below. So what I did is I went ahead and I made some ordered pairs. Basically what I did is I took my numbers and I used, this will work, my stylus. Yeah. So I have, like, with the number 1, I put week 1 here for Anne, week 1 for Leslie, week 2 for Anne, week 2 for Leslie, 3, week 3, week 4, and week 4. Then I started off with Anne had 7 hours each week. Leslie had 5 hours each week. And then we start to show that they add up. By week 2, she's played a total of 14 hours. For Leslie, she's played a total of 10. 3, we've added 7 more here to get 21. Here we've added 5 more to get 15. Here we've added 7 more to get 28. And here we've added 5 more to get 20. These are the ordered pairs. Once I've got those ordered pairs, I can actually use those ordered pairs to make a graph. That's what I'm going to do right here. Now, boys and girls, I had one already on here, so I'm going to show you that, but I'd like you to have drawn one. And what you want to do on your graph is you want to have the following things are best. Let's erase this. What you should do is you should have the weeks down here on the bottom. Week 1, 2, 3, and 4. You don't need to put the space in between the weeks, like half a week and half a week and half a week, but just have 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's your x-axis. That's your first digit, or your first part of your ordered pairs. Now, the second part of your ordered pairs, boys and girls, is going to be the amount of hours that they practice. And here it starts off with 7, and that's going right here on this y-axis, hours practice. Make sure you label it too. Hours practice. You're going to be putting Leslie and Ann's on the same x and y axis, and I'll show you how we do that. What you're going to do is you are going to take, and I'm going to take and find, let's take a look at the very first one of the ordered pairs, and you can see how I plot these out. So Ann is going to be 1/7, or 1 and 7. So what I'll do, and I'm just going to get a good dot here. Yeah. So I'm going to go across to 1 and then up to 7. It's right about there, I think, is where I'll go. Well, that's kind of small, so maybe I'll do a little bit bigger so you can kind of see where I'm going. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take 1 and 7. And I'm going to plot it on the chart. I'm going to take it right here. 1, go up, and right about there is where I'm going to put my dot. So I'll put my dot in. Right about there. All right. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking 2 and 14 down here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put 2, and then I'll go up here to right about there for my next dot. I am not very good at this, boys and girls, is annotating with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my mouse here to just put a dot where they belong. All right, so 1 and 7 goes right about there. 2 and 14 goes right about here. 3 and 21, 3 and then 20, right above 20. That's a little bit too far up. So I'll go ahead and put that there. And then 4 and 28, almost to 30. Put it over on the 4 line, right about there. Then what I can do is I'll do the same thing for Leslie. What I'll do is I'll look, Leslie's 1 and 5, so I'll go 1, and she's just about halfway there, a little kind of close together, 1 and 5, 2 and 10 for her, 3 and 15 hours, and then 4 and 20. Now, when I've got that, now what I can do is I can look and see what my original question was. The question was, how many more hours, by the time they got to week 4, how many more hours did Ann practice than Leslie? So we'll look right here. Ann practiced 28 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and write it out here. So Ann practiced, well, not with a little thing. I'll write it down here. Ann practiced 28 hours, and Leslie practiced 20 hours in 4 weeks. So the difference is 8 hours. So let's go ahead and look at my answer sentence here. Let's roll that up. How many more hours has Ann spent practicing in 4 weeks than Leslie? I'll just say Ann spends 8 more hours practicing a little bit of spelling error there, so I'll try practicing than Leslie. Good. I'm really proud if you got all the way through that, boys and girls. That was a complicated one. Lots of details, but if you read it through, you'd be fine. The answer sentence is Ann spends 8 more hours practicing than Leslie. Let's go ahead now and go on to number 8, our final one. And I'm going to zoom this down just a little bit. Okay, Dylan had 6 3/8 cups of sugar. He used 2 1/8 cups of sugar for recipe. How much sugar does Dylan left? Explain how you solve the problem. On this one, boys and girls, all you really need to do is just show your work on this. That's good enough explanation. How much sugar does Dylan have left? Dylan has, and I'm going to say blank, cups, and make sure you have of sugar. So Dylan has blank cups of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and show my work down here. And I'll move down just a smidge here. I'm going to be taking my 6 3/8. I'm going to subtract my 2 1/8 cups of sugar that he uses. Oh, good. They have the same denominator, which makes it very easy to do. 3 minus 1 is 2. I don't do anything with my denominator. Now I have 2/8. 2/8 I know can simplify down into 1/4. So my whole numbers, when I subtract them, 6 minus 2 is 4. Dylan has 4 2/8, which simplifies down to 4 1/4 cups of sugar. And I'm going to add one more thing here. When I was reading this, I was thinking to myself, I really needed to have left. Dylan has 4 1/4 cups of sugar left. So if you added in there, boys and girls, good for you. And that is our Friday word problem of the day. Thanks for checking, and make sure you fill out the spiral math survey at the after this assignment. Thank you, boys and girls.